Welcome back, everybody, to the Family Meeting Podcast. We are so glad to be back with all of you. I'm Thomas. This is the infamous Lysandra, my beautiful wife and co-host.
Yes.
Ready for a great episode?
I am ready, and we want to welcome you to episode 307 of the Family Meeting Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to discuss, can you handle the truth?
Oh, boy.
You can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth fine. It's just getting the information, because I'm usually blissfully unaware until Lysandra's like, hey, we need to talk.
Listen, I feel bad that it has become my lifelong job to point out all your flaws. Like, I feel like that's literally my job. Like, you even want me to do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll say you're doing a good job. I have a lot of flaws left, but I think that I've come a long way.
You're a great person. You're a great husband. You're a great father.
Okay.
You're wonderful.
Now I'm waiting for the but.
But
I knew it. I told you guys.
Everyone has something. We all have something. And this is what's so frustrating. We all have something all of the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, somebody points out one flaw and you're like, okay, I'm going to work really hard on that. And I'm going to stop doing that thing that I do. And you get that down and you're like, I conquered that. And then it's like, oh, you got 6 other flaws that popped up over here while you were focusing on that one.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's very frustrating.
It's like whack-a-mole. It's like you hit this down, and then when I was back in Iowa visiting for a couple days, went out to Pizza Ranch because it's like one of 3 restaurants that my mom likes. And it was my 2 brothers and I, and of course me and a couple of our girls, my mom and my dad and Jonathan's longtime girlfriend, Josie. And they have an arcade at Pizza Ranch. And so one of the games we played, what was it called? Oh, we made so much fun of that game.
No, not the clown game. It's not the clown game.
No, this is the clown game.
Oh, it was
and
the clown game.
And so, like, you take these balls that keep rolling down and you throw them and knock the clowns down.
Down a clown.
Yeah, down a clown. Something like that. And so you knock them down and then all of a sudden, like, they pop back up. And it's a lot like that with working on yourself. It's like you knock one thing down and you feel good about that. And then it's like, boom, they keep popping up. Yeah. And so it's a lifelong thing, as Lysandra talked about.
It is. And this is not at all what the podcast is about. But let me say this, because this just popped into my head.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to like celebrate when you knock one of those things down, right? Because like so often it's like we conquer one bad habit or one behavioral flaw or whatever. Yeah. And then we're on to try to work on the others that we don't like give a couple of minutes to be like, you did good. And thank you, God. Like, you worked in me. Thank you, Lord. And like, take a minute to rejoice. Yeah. To celebrate a victory every once in a while. That's okay.
Well, and one of the victories was I beat my dad and both of my brothers and got the high score in the game. So
I was speaking metaphorically. You were just trying to look for a way to get that in.
Yeah. Hey, you said celebrate the wins, and who won? This guy.
It was hilarious how competitive your dad, and your brother were on that stupid clown game.
Oh yeah, because it's like you would come up like one throw short, and it's so stupid because it's such an easy game, and it's so close, but there's so much pressure because of the timer that you will throw and miss right next to one and almost knock it down, and then time runs out and you didn't get the high score. So
I disagree that it was an easy game.
Well, yeah, you were the worst at it. You were literally the worst at it.
I think I got 40 points and you guys had 360.
I had over 500 points.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got 40.
Yeah. So it was funny, but yeah, celebrate the wins. So
yeah, celebrate the wins. Okay. So every marriage needs honest communication.
Yes.
Every marriage, like if you want to have a healthy marriage that is like good, successful, joyful, like meaningful, and not just shallow, then you've got to be able to give honest feedback about what's going on with the other person.
Yeah.
And Thomas and me, we have given permission to one another. Like, tell me when you see something in me. Show me, like, point it out to me. And of course, we do it gently and carefully and all of that. But like, you have literally told me that you want me to point out flaws or bad habits. I have told you the same. Both of us, in general, respond pretty well when we are when it's pointed out. Like,
well, and that's the thing.
We want to grow.
Is like you have to be you have to be good at accepting the feedback as well. You know, if you're going to ask for feedback, and I think that you should, I think that's an important part of learning and growing as a person and in a relationship. But you have to be good at and gracious in accepting whatever the feedback comes your way.
Exactly. So I would say that both of us do that. But the reason that we're doing this topic today is because it was our daughter who pointed out our flaws. And we're going to get into that more in just a minute. But Thomas, you have a little promotional thing you want to share, right? Like, yes, about something that's coming up. So we'll break, but just know that we're going to share with you what our daughter said about us in just a minute.
So we're recording this ahead of time, but for those of you who are watching it and listening, we just finished up the National Small Group Conference, and we'll tell you all about that in some upcoming episodes. But we're getting ready, just less than a month, maybe a month-ish away from going out to New Mexico.
I'm so excited for this.
And spending some time with Caleb and Joy Worley at Mountain View Baptist Church in Las Cruces, New Mexico, for their marriage conference there. And so going to be sharing with them some conversations that they need to have as couples. And it's funny how we can go a long time in our marriage relationship without really having some very important conversations unless someone has encouraged us to have them. And it is one of the reasons why we encourage people to go to premarital coaching, premarital counseling, and all of that. If you're looking for someone, this is not really what I'm promoting, but we'll throw it in there. Why not?
Throw it in there.
We can help you with that. familymeeting.org/shop. But helping these couples have the conversations they need to have. And one of the things that happens just about every time we go and we speak at one of these marriage events is we have couples who come up and they've been married for decades. And I think of this couple that came up recently and said, we're having conversations now that we should have had 41 years ago.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, you think about that. They got married 41 years ago and never had some very important conversations until they sat in a room and somebody really challenged them to have it. And so it was very meaningful for them. It's always meaningful for us. We love being able to help people with their marriage relationships. It's one of the reasons why we do the podcast, right? We care deeply about marriage and family. And, we don't do this for the money every single week. We pay to do this. We pay to get the podcast out to you.
There is no money.
But we love it. We love being able to help people and encourage people to find what we have worked hard to find. Yeah. And we continue to work hard to have the marriage relationship that we have. So it'll be a great time out in New Mexico. If you're out west and you want to join us, make your plans to be with us. Continue to monitor our social media. We'll have all that information for you there. And then I'm excited about this because, and this is one, we don't often talk about the conferences that we're going to be at months and months and months in advance. But for this one, we have to.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We're getting ready to go in 2027, April 2027. We have been invited to go to Estonia by some missionaries over there to speak to pastors and ministry leaders and their wives at a conference and talk to them about marriage and help strengthen their marriages and families as well. Here's the thing. We're going over to help missionaries. They don't have the money to fly us over there. This is literally a mission that we're going to go do. And so what we're doing is we're doing a little kind of a fundraiser. We're selling some special t-shirts that are just for this. All the proceeds that go in will go to this. And it is our Estonia 27 missions trip t-shirt. And if you see the logo, those of you who are watching this, you'll see it pop up on the lower third with all the information that you need to help us and make the trip possible. But you look at the shirt and you see these shapes on the shirt, and it looks maybe like it's torn or something else. That is the shape of the country of Estonia. It's right next to Russia, and it's got a couple little islands off next to it. And so I think it's a kind of a cool design.
Yeah, it looks great. You did a good job.
It's going to be the super soft shirts that you see me wear every single week. I wear one of these shirts every single day. So it's the same material, soft, comfortable. You'll want to wear it. And it'll go to help strengthen marriages and families in Estonia. And I think about the great thing about speaking to ministry leaders is if you can encourage them, then they can take that back to their churches. And we really have no idea the lasting effect that this could have across the whole country and the whole region over there. So it's super exciting. It has been a goal of ours basically from day one to go across the world and be able to do exactly what we're doing now and encouraging marriages and families. And you can help make it all happen.
Yes.
And so probably going to take around $5,000 to make it happen. And as I've already mentioned, we don't make money doing this. So we're asking for your help, your investment in the marriages and families in the country of Estonia. It's going to be an absolutely great time. We look forward to telling you all about what God does. And but that's a few months away, but we've got to work to make the trip happen.
Right. Yep. All right. So we want to discuss today why every healthy marriage requires humility, teachability, and the courage to receive loving correction, because it does take courage to ask for it, and it takes courage to listen to it. It takes courage to go for it and to try to do better. But before we dig into this episode, we have to tell you how it all came about.
Yeah.
So, as many of you know, our daughter Catherine is about to get married.
She's our oldest daughter, 20 years old, almost 21.
Yeah. And she is getting married to a very nice young man who we love. I've been saying already that he's my son since the first time he came over to dinner. His name is Corey.
It was literally the first time, and he leaves, and we're chatting just the two of us, and she's like calling him son already, and I'm like,
he's
whoa,
my son. I love him like my son. He's gonna be my son.
I'm like, whoa, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like, he's sat down at our table one time. Now I will say this: we made it uncomfortable. We asked him some difficult questions, and he did great. He stuck around.
I think we also forced him to eat a black olive that he hates.
Yes.
So we really tortured that poor boy.
Yeah. It was like, let's see right away if he's going to be able to handle the Osterkamp family.
Everyone in our family loves black olives too. So it was like, dude, you've got to at least have one in our home. This is who we are. We're black olive people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we did have a good time with him. Anyway, okay, all that to say, they did continue to date. It's been over 3 years. He proposed. They are engaged. We're so close to the wedding and so very excited.
Well, and the wedding has been a big part of our life. Yes. The last few months, continue to work on that. Right now, Violet is off at volleyball camp.
Yep.
And so she's at Daytona State doing a volleyball camp there. First time that one of our girls has done something like that by themselves.
Yeah.
So the other girls, when they went to camp and did whatever, they always had at least one sister with them. So she's having a great time. As soon as we're done recording this, we're going to be making our way to Daytona State to go pick her up, and they've got volleyball games and stuff they're going to play. So we're going to go watch her as she finishes up her camp.
It's going to be fun.
What else do we got going on? Wedding stuff, volleyball camp. Really, honestly, wedding is the big thing right now. We are 30 something days away from the wedding now. Are we under 30 days? I don't even know what today's date is. It was 35 or 36 just a day or two ago.
Okay, so we're getting close to a month away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of go time, but we also have done a lot of planning. So actually, it's kind of a little bit of a lull as far as that, but just a lot of work, and yeah, we're doing good. We're just.
The lovebirds are off visiting Corey's grandma or something.
Mimi, yep. They're off with Mimi and his mother. So what will soon be Catherine's mother-in-law, who we also just love and adore. She's wonderful, Jessica.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jessica. And they're having a good weekend. Corey's working for his Mimi, and the girls are all hanging out. And so they're gone. So we are, part of the preparation for the wedding is we're having premarital counseling with Catherine and Corey. Now, for those of you who are immediately like, ooh, red flag, her parents are doing premarital counseling, this is not a good idea. We understand that. So they're also doing premarital counseling with an amazing couple from Corey's family's church. So they're getting two. But we really wanted to go through it with them and share the things that we share with other couples. And so we are doing that. And we made sure that they knew everything that happens in these sessions stays in this session. We will not share anything.
Yes.
And then this happened.
So... Oh, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, so we asked permission if we could share what we're going to share today.
Oh, yes.
And the permission has been granted. So, yeah, go ahead. Why don't you tell exactly?
So, one of the things we talked about is a lot of what we talk about has to do with the things that you grow up with, you just view as normal. Right. So, whatever your family was growing up, that's how you typically view family. And so, that's true when it comes to being a husband and a wife as well. Like, you watch your parents and you just think that's how husbands and wives are. Roles, responsibilities, communication, conflict, all of the things. Mm-hmm. And so we do this with every couple that we go through this with, is we have them sit down and evaluate and try to think through what they witnessed their parents and their relationship together. And so we asked them, like, what are the positive things that you noticed about your mom as a wife? And kind of list those things out and share them. All right, what are the positive things about your dad? And list those things out and share them as far as what a husband was or should be.
Then it turns dark.
I think we actually do the negative first, but we do have them share the negative. Like, you're evaluating and trying to honestly look at and see, okay, what are the not so good, or even in some cases, the bad qualities and habits and things that you witnessed growing up that you say, you know what, that's not really the way that a wife or a husband should be. So I recognize that I want to do something different. So we get ready, and this is the session to talk about these things. And of course, they take the worksheet and they do it themselves first, and then they come back together and they talk about it and they go over their answers together, and then they meet with us.
So there's 3 steps to this.
So they already know this is happening. It's going to happen, and I continue to reassure them, whatever you say here, it stays here. And then we had to, this is the first time we've done this with one of our kids, which we do believe there's no better people to teach our kids about marriage than us. Like, and we think you should be teaching your kids about marriage.
Yes. Right.
And what it means to be a good husband or a good wife and have a good relationship. But had to reassure her, like, whatever you say right now is fine.
It's safe.
Like, there's nothing that you could say negatively about us as a husband or a wife that we're going to treat you differently. We're not going to feel bad about it. Like, we invite this feedback. And I made her go first. I made her lead the way in giving the negatives. And I was not just going to let her off with, well, I can't think of any. Like, or there are none. Because it's like, we know who we are. And
we know we're human, and we are so not perfect.
And we've always tried to be very open and vulnerable with our kids. And so we did make her go first, and she was very uncomfortable. She did not want to do it. Yeah, she's very hesitant.
Well, one thing, though, if I can interrupt for 1 second. One thing that we see with every single couple when we do this exercise, every single couple, like, they will share their negatives about their parents, but they always preface them with, like, it wasn't all the time.
Yes.
Or, like, they're really good people. Like, she was a good wife. She just, like, did this one little thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really cute to see how protective they are of their parents' reputations.
Very few people are happy to share the negative things.
But there's been, like, one couple that I can think of where the husband just, like, he had a really bad example, and it came from a rough home.
Yeah.
And so for him, he was like, there weren't a whole lot of good. It was just kind of sharing the negative. But all of the kids, they all are like, I mean, and they always like kind of stutter and try to like point out the good qualities even when they are saying something negative about their parents, which is it's so sweet. Like, they care and they love their parents. And Catherine did this as well, but she did it to such a greater degree because she was so uncomfortable. Like, can you even imagine, like, just put yourself in her position? Think about your own parents.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to your parents and be like, I love you, but this is the negative thing I saw that you did as a wife?
Right?
Growing up.
As a father.
This is And it was like, oh, yeah. So poor thing.
And she is such a kind person.
She is,
herself, and doesn't like to say negative things about people. And so it was difficult. But I think it's you and you may be saying, well, why would you have them do that?
Good question.
And it's so important for us to be able to truly evaluate what we've witnessed growing up and recognize, like, not everything was perfect. Not everything was done right. And whatever was not done right, I want to recognize that. And I want to seek to purposefully make changes so that I do something different. That's how you break cycles in a family.
Right.
That's how you set a new course, is by honestly evaluating. We're not talking about putting somebody down or any of that. It's just simply recognizing something that maybe wasn't done right. Let's try to do it right.
And these young people who are getting married, when they're coming into their marriage, they can kind of, I think, sometimes swing the pendulum one way or the other, where it's like, my parents were perfect. Like, I just want the marriage my parents had. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Or they can come in and be like, my house was terrible. I don't want to do anything my parents did. They were awful. So doing this, where you have to identify positive things you saw and negative things you saw, helps you to have more of a balanced, real observation and perspective of what you witnessed in your home. Yeah. There are no perfect wives. There are no perfect husbands. And yet there are also no completely imperfect people either.
Right.
There is good you can glean from your parents' marriage, even if you saw a lot of negatives.
Yeah, you can learn something. Want them to see. Learn something from everybody.
Absolutely. But so one of the questions we want you to ask today as we go forward, because we are going to share what Catherine said was our negatives. Here's a question for you. How do you respond when your spouse or your child, or maybe somebody else, points out one of your weaknesses? What's your response to that? Do you become defensive? Do you shut down? Mm-hmm. Or are you willing to listen, learn, and grow? Are you able to handle it when someone says, I noticed that you do this thing and it's really inappropriate, or I noticed that you have this bad habit, or whatever?
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Yeah. So we need to be teachable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important.
So as we were sitting across from each other during this time, it's of course time for Catherine to give the negatives. And so I think we did moms first, right? I think we
No, dads are first.
Did dads first.
And you do have them do the positives first, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah, you do. It's positives first and then negatives.
That's right.
And
That's
it's
right.
dads first and then moms.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So did the positives first, and I couldn't help but like smile as my daughter is talking about the positives.
Oh, yeah.
Which it just feels really good. But then you get to the negatives and it's like, oh, what is she going to say? Like,
I was bracing myself.
Like, what is she going what are the negatives that she is going to share? I'm open to receive them. I truly meant it when I told her, like, whatever you say right now is fine. I'm going to be fine.
Yes.
I want to hear the negatives. Mm-hmm. I want to know what your experience was like. And so here are the negatives that she shared about me. And I honestly think she was spot on in her evaluation.
Now, we only have like a 45-minute podcast. So how are you going to get all these in time?
Yeah, this will definitely be an hour show.
Just kidding. She only had 2 negatives for you.
Yeah, she had 2 negatives, and both the negatives were spot on.
I agree.
So
I agree. But I want to say this before you share the negatives, and I know everybody wants to hear what his negatives are. But listen, even though these things are true, they are so much better than they used to be. Like,
Yeah.
you used to do these things so much worse, and now you have worked so hard to grow and change and do better, and you have. So I really do want to say that, but go ahead.
So the first one that she said was, I'm passive aggressive, which probably doesn't surprise a lot of you, even if you just listen to the banter and stuff on the podcast itself.
But what is so funny is she didn't say you're passive aggressive. What she said was, you can be sometimes, not very often, but sometimes you can be passive aggressive. It was like she could not be like, you are passive aggressive.
I know. She was trying hard to like soften the blow.
Minimize it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely true, especially in times where, you know, things are heated or whatever else. I know that I can become very passive aggressive, and it's something that a lot of you struggle with as well. Mm-hmm. And it's one thing if it's kind of like passive aggressive, light banter and joking, or
sarcasm.
Yeah, which we kind of have that in our relationship as well. But it definitely can be unhealthy if it's like you're not truly dealing with stuff.
So I'll give an example.
Okay.
Of what Thomas's passive aggressive tendencies look like. So if something doesn't go the way that it should, not just the way you think it should, but like the way it should.
Yeah.
Rather than just tell you, okay, and I'm going to give a perfect example. The dog should have been walked beforehand so we could get out on time on Sunday. Thomas is more passive aggressive on Sunday than any other day. And it's because the pressure of like getting to church, preaching your message, making sure everything runs right, not forgetting things. Your stress level is higher on Sunday than any other day because he's a pastor.
Well, and especially like tomorrow. So we're recording this on a Saturday. Tomorrow is our beach service day. So we have our sunrise service that starts at 7 a.m. So we leave our house like 6:15, maybe right around 6:15 a.m. to get to the beach, set everything up, and we're not home until afternoon. And so that day, especially, like all Sundays are pretty stressful. It's my busiest day, a lot of expectations and pressure that have been placed upon me. But beach day is even worse.
It is. So I'm thinking of a specific example of you getting passive aggressive on a Sunday. Like we'll all be sitting down here having our coffee, and you'll come downstairs and it's time to leave. And one of the girls like forgot to walk the dog. And rather than being like Violet or Isabella or Abigail, I don't even know who it was. Rather than being like, daughter, you were supposed to walk the dog today. It was wrong that you didn't. I don't want this to happen again. What you will say instead is, as you're walking around, I don't know why the dog wouldn't have been walked. Why would anybody be sitting around having coffee when the dog hasn't been walked? It's time to go to church.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think that's the passive aggressive. So it's not sarcasm or anything. It's like, rather than just being direct and saying like, you did this wrong, it's like kind of talking into the air or making those little comments like that. So that's
which good. We do have rules about Sunday morning. Like,
absolutely.
No one's supposed to be sitting around having coffee unless they're totally ready to go.
Yes.
Which means you're all dressed, hair, makeup, you have all your stuff ready to go.
Chores are done.
Dog's been walked. If dishes are your day or whatever, like it's all supposed to be done.
Yeah.
By the time we're ready to walk out the door.
And it's never that big of a deal except for on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like you don't really care that much on any other day.
I don't care on any other day at all.
At all. Yeah.
But it's like we have to walk out the door this time. And this is what was happening is I would come downstairs, it's time to go, and everybody's been sitting around doing coffee and they're not ready to go. Yes.
And it got really bad for a while.
Yeah.
Like it slowly like digressed. And then pretty soon it was like, oh my gosh, I don't have my makeup on. I got to go get my shoes. I don't know what I'm wearing. And it's like, girls, we're like leaving right now.
Yeah. And they're all freaking out. And it's like, no, you should have gotten ready first before you just sat around.
Right. Which they know that, but
it's still not a right way for me to handle it. You know, in a passive-aggressive manner, whether it's our marriage, our family, or whatever else.
I dare say you wouldn't even know that you were doing that.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think that you necessarily know that you do that.
Yeah.
But you felt, when she said passive-aggressive, you felt like, ooh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely true.
You see it, but maybe you don't know that you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Or when you do it, you don't know that you're doing it.
Yeah. So,
but that's the thing. Like, these are behavioral patterns.
yeah, right. Exactly.
It's a behavioral pattern. Like, you just do it. You don't think about it. You don't try to do it. You don't try not to do it. It's just, you do this thing. Now, here's a question for you before we hear Thomas's second negative. Do you think one of your parents was passive aggressive? Like, did you ever see that in your home?
I'm trying to think.
Or is this just your own thing and you can't blame it on mom and dad?
I think it is my own thing.
I can't think of your parents being passive aggressive.
No, they're usually pretty upfront and direct in their confrontation of what was happening. So
yeah.
But I definitely can recognize like it's an unhealthy way to communicate and to deal with stress or conflict and deal with issues. So,
all right,
she was spot on with that.
All right, how about number 2?
The next one was procrastination, particularly when it comes to helping. And we've talked about this plenty of times I'm a procrastinator anyway. Like, I am a deadline person. This is the deadline. All right, this is when I plan to have it done.
Yeah, and that's also when you plan to think about it. Yeah. For the most part. Like, he also doesn't want to think about anything until it's like the deadline to think about it.
Yeah.
Which I cannot stand. It's so hard. Okay, me and Isabella were running around yesterday.
Yeah.
She came with me on one of my paint bids, and she's like, as long as I don't have to go in, I'll come. And I was like, yeah, just ride with me. So we're in the car for like an hour and a half together. And she was talking about things that she needed to do. And she's like, I don't really want to think about those till later. And she said this. She said to me, you know what I mean? Oh, no, you don't know what I mean. Dad knows what I mean.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, like, why would I think about that thing until the deadline? So even her and me were talking about how you and her do that the same way. But what I do is, like, I know that when I finish that thing, I get a sense of relief. So I'm chasing that relief all the time.
Yeah.
So the second I know, like, that relief is just around the corner, all I have to do is do this thing. Even though it's early, I'm going to do it. Like, let's get it done. But not you.
No, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have it on my plate until it's literally time to do it.
But it's on your plate until you do it.
No.
It's already there.
It's not on the plate until it's time to do it.
Where is it?
Still in the fridge or wherever. It's not been made yet. So
we just do not think the same. It's so funny.
Not at all. So I don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah.
And so once it's time to do the thing, then it's like, okay, I'm fully locked in and can do the thing and it's done.
Yeah.
But until then, like, especially if there's nothing I can do about it, like I can't do anything about this right now, whatever it is. Okay. So let's talk about some of the wedding stuff for a little bit. So one of the things that I'm doing along with everything else that I'm doing is the slideshow. Mm-hmm. Slideshow for the kids. And so, like, I'm not thinking about it or worrying about it until I have the photos.
And one thing, so you can just hear when we're talking about this, why this would cause a lot of conflict in our marriage.
Yeah.
Because I am so drastically one extreme to, like, if there's a mention of something that needs to be done way out in the future, how can I get it done today?
Yeah.
And then you have Thomas the other way, who doesn't even want to think about it until it's the deadline.
Yeah.
So obviously we are going to have conflict here. Like, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Because we approach literally every aspect of our lives from these two different perspectives. And so, like, I don't understand how you cannot be thinking about that slideshow. Like, I am. I am thinking about it, and doesn't really have anything to do with me, other than my job as the nagger of the family is to be like, Catherine, you really need to send Daddy your pictures. You can't leave it till last minute. Yeah. And then I'm also nagging Thomas about, like, hey, do you need to ask Catherine for pictures? Like, so I'm the one who's like I'm going to call it, maybe I should say, the reminder. Yeah. But it does pretty much come out like nagging. But so what I have learned, though, but see, it's been 23 years of marriage very soon. 23 years.
Yeah.
Is that I can trust Thomas. But I didn't know that before. I had to watch this play out time and time again. I know he will have that slideshow done by the wedding.
Yeah.
I can trust him. So that has allowed me to cool off a little bit on like being nervous and pressuring you. But until I knew that you could do that, it was very stressful for me.
Well, and specifically, you know, as she's sharing about marriage or relationship, Catherine's talking about our marriage or relationship and helping. Lysandra and I have very different ideas of when things need to be done. And so
yes,
whether that's like taking out the garbage or mowing the lawn or doing this or that, which for those of you who have been longtime listeners of the podcast know that in the past, our girls have mowed the lawn.
Yes, and before that, I mowed the lawn.
But for the last 2 or 3 months, I've been mowing the lawn
and
every single week.
It looks better than ever before.
Yes.
He does a fantastic job with the lawn, and I care about a well-manicured lawn. I care so deeply about it.
Yeah.
So I'm just loving this.
And part of my motivation about doing a good job is I know that she really enjoys it and cares about it.
This is what I hate about our new setup. I can't touch you because I would just like kiss
not a
you
lot
right
of
now.
not a lot of physical contact. But
I love you.
It's harder for you to hit me.
That's true, which is a negative as well.
But so whether it's like taking out the garbage, she's like, "Hey, can you take out the garbage?" I'm like, "Yes, I can take out the garbage." But to me, it's not an emergency.
Right. And my perspective is I'm cooking and I just had this trash. It could be raw chicken cuttings. It could be like whatever. I don't want it on my counter. I want it in that trash can.
Yeah.
And I can't put it in the trash can because it's full. I also don't want to stop in the middle of cooking to take out the trash myself. You're right there. Like, can you do it? And so we're coming at it from two different perspectives here where I'm like, it's very important to me that it's done right now. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
But if we don't talk about that, all that happens is we both end up angry.
It's like moving furniture or picking stuff up. It's like, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I will get it. But for her, everything is an emergency. Everything should be done immediately right now. And
Pretty
so
much.
it's like, I'll wait. I'll get it done. So I've tried to be a little more thoughtful, and I have been, you know, Catherine did point this out, but for a while I've tried to be more thoughtful about trying to get things done.
And it's been
as
awesome.
soon as she asks me to do things, I
Yes.
try to get up and do it.
Which is so cool.
And I'm very happy to help. I want to make her happy. I don't want to cause her stress about things like that. I want her to feel like she does have a partner in all of this because we are teammates. We are partners in everything. And so just try to be a little more mindful of how she feels about the timetable, even though I feel differently. And it's not that big of a deal to, you know, stop whatever I'm doing and go help her and then return back to what I'm doing. So it's something that has definitely been an issue. By the time you've watched this and this goes out, we will have celebrated 23 years, unless something drastic happens in the next week or so.
I hope we make it to 23.
Eight more days is our anniversary. But you still a lot of learning and growing. I've come a long way and tried to work. But both of these things that she pointed out were, I mean, I agree with them. Very, very obvious issues that I have had as a husband in our household.
So I understand that you hearing them, you agreed with them. Now here's my question to you. Because Thomas and me are so different. Well, part of it is that he's a man, I'm a woman, but a lot of it's personality. How did you feel hearing your daughter share negative things about you that you knew were true? Like, how did you feel about that?
I don't know that I felt one way or the other.
Do you think you could get a heart? Could you please have a feeling?
We
would all be grateful.
I recognized that they were true, they were factual, and to be honest, not that bad. I mean,
oh, okay. So now we see the truth. Okay.
Like I was expecting maybe some worse stuff.
All right, wait. What do you think is the worst quality of as a husband?
I have no idea what it would be.
Oh,
I just
okay.
was like, okay.
You're like, oh, that's not that bad. Cool.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Like they're both things that I'm actively trying to work on. So it's like, okay, I see that. I recognize that.
Okay.
So
No guilt?
no,
Shame?
no,
Regret?
no.
Okay.
I mean,
you have no feelings.
Look, I'm a pretty great guy.
Oh my goodness. All right. Add pride to the list.
Dude, remember at the beginning of this episode when she's like, he's great. He's this, he's this, he's this. And I'm like, okay, where's the butt coming? Like,
oh my goodness. All right. Well, we should move on to me, I suppose.
Yeah. So let's talk about
how bad I am.
Let's do it.
Listen, I know that there are some people who are very confused out there. There are some people who are very confused. They watch a podcast like this, people who talk about marriage all the time, and they think, oh, they are so perfect.
And one of us is.
Yeah, neither of us are. And so we have to shatter that bubble, that idea that anybody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody is perfect.
So let's talk about how bad I am. All right, I'm going to share. So Catherine was so very stuttery at this point. I think it was harder for her to say the negative things about me than you.
I think so. I think for a couple different reasons. Kind of my temperament. I think she more knew that it wasn't going to hurt my feelings.
Yes.
Like the potential to hurt my feelings was very, very small. Mm-hmm. The potential to hurt your feelings and have you feel a certain way is like a lot greater.
Yeah, because I have feelings.
In that aspect. Yeah.
Talking of passive aggressive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was really nervous about this. And I had to reassure her multiple times. She was trying to say, which, by the way, side note, Catherine's most difficult thing for her to do is speak. She could have written this out much easier. And I mean, they have a homework
sheet. She did write it out.
So she did write it out. But I'm saying for her to say it was much more difficult for her anyway, let alone the fact that she was about to say something negative about her mom.
Yeah.
To her mom's face.
She loves her mom. She is friends with her mom. It's one thing if it's like, I don't like my mom, and so I can say the negative
my chance.
things. Exactly. Another thing when you're like, I love my mom. She is my friend, and now I have to. My dad is forcing me to say negative things about my mom.
Yeah. So it was funny. But I kept telling her, I was like, you are not going to hurt my feelings. I want to hear this. Yeah. I want to grow. And this is good for you to see negative things about me.
Yeah.
In case she would have ever thought for a moment that I'm perfect, which she would not. But okay, here's number one. Listing the things that I have already done when I'm asking someone else for help.
And you do this.
You
do this all the time.
I do it like crazy. And what's so funny is I had no idea that I did it.
Well, and here's the thing too, is like, I never paid attention to it until the girls have brought it up. This has come up a couple of times in our family.
Oh, they told me about it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the girls have talked about this before. We've had conversations about this before.
That makes me feel worse because then I don't remember those conversations.
Which is very rare for you not to remember conversations.
Yeah, I wonder if it was brought up in a different way that it didn't tie in for me or something.
And so, yeah, this is, but for me, it's like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I understand what you're doing and why you're doing it.
What do you think I'm doing and why do you think I'm doing it?
So
I know why, but.
So here's what I think.
Okay.
I think that you often feel guilty for asking other people for help.
Yes.
And so to justify asking for help, you're trying to prove to them, like, I'm not just, sloughing off responsibility. I'm not just trying to get somebody else to do my work. Or I'm not just being lazy.
Yes.
So I've done all these things. I'm asking you to do this thing.
That's exactly why I do it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of thought that's how it was coming across. But what Catherine said in the premarital counseling is it's coming across that I'm keeping score.
Yeah.
And comparing my work to your work. And I'm like,
yeah.
Whoa, duh.
Which I can see that perspective,
of
especially
course,
if it's like your child.
Yeah. So what's so funny when someone points out your flaw is then when you do it, you're like, oh my gosh, I just did it. So it was maybe an hour later, maybe 1 hour later.
Yeah.
When I asked, I was in the middle of making dinner or something. Like I was actively doing something. And one of the girls needed their car out. And so someone has to move a car so that
constantly shuffling cars around.
We have a driveway with 4 parking spaces and we have 5 cars.
Yeah.
So it's constant shuffle. So I'm like, hey, so-and-so, can you please move the car so that so-and-so can get out? I've already moved 2 cars today.
Yeah.
And all I was trying to do was say, like, I'm not being lazy. I did it already. Can you do it this time?
Yeah.
But of course, I right away was like, oh, I just did it. And I think I even told you, didn't I say, like, Thomas, I just did it.
Yes.
I just did it again.
Yeah.
And it was 1 hour in. So I am so aware of this now that I'm working really hard not to do it. But I'm not sure now how to handle the guilt that I feel for asking for help.
Yeah.
And I think it was Catherine, because me and Catherine talked about it later, just the 2 of us. And she said, you just don't need to feel guilty for asking for help. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. But this hit me really hard. Not like it didn't hurt my feelings, but it was like so true. And it's become such a habit now. And the way, it's literally the pathway my brain takes. It is the way I think now.
Yeah.
So I'm working on renewing my mind, as the scripture says. And I'm asking the Lord to help me not to do this.
Yeah.
But it's really hard.
But you brought up a great point, and I want to highlight this for our listeners. You said because you're focusing on it now, you're hyper aware of it now because it was brought to your attention. And that is exactly why you should be open to feedback from your spouse. Is like, we don't normally just change and improve on our own.
No.
We improve when the negative things are brought to light, and then we can work on them. Mm-hmm. And so obviously you need to make yourself open to it. You need to respond well to it so that you can have an opportunity to work on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So it is weird though to hear your child point something out that is so real and so true, and then to do it right away. And it's a really weird feeling, but it was really good for me.
To literally turn around and do it.
Within an hour.
Yeah.
Do it. And then, of course, I've caught myself doing it multiple times after. And I'm happy to report that I have caught myself before doing it now as well. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, and Thomas, let me ask you this. Should I just start saying, hey, so-and-so, can you please go move the car? Thanks. Is that what I should do?
Yes.
I shouldn't be I'm sorry that I'm asking.
Well, I wouldn't apologize, but even if it's hey, can you help me by?
Yeah.
I would appreciate it if you would. We all need help, and that's part of being a family. We've taught our kids this from the time that they were toddlers, learning how to pick up their own toys.
Yeah.
It's we're a family. Everybody chips in. Everybody helps. We all need help.
Yes,
none of us
do.
are super people. Lysandra, she is able to do and accomplish more than any person I've ever met in my entire life. But even you have your limits.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I need help all the time.
And, we've been married for 23 years now. So the whirlwind that you used to do and the things that you used to accomplish was more than it is at this stage of your life.
Yes, I have seen a decline.
A little more tired, quicker.
Yep.
So I'm
41 now. It's crazy how it changed.
So here's what I've noticed lately, and this highlights the change.
Okay.
So sometimes now Lysandra will go to bed without some task being totally done and things totally put away.
Oh, yes. And I would never have done that
in
my 20s or 30s.
So we just had Catherine's bridal shower a couple Saturdays ago.
Yes.
And rather than clean up and put everything away,
packed, organized, labeled,
she went to bed and did it the next day.
Yep. I was I'm going to do this tomorrow.
Which you would have never done that.
No.
In earlier.
No.
20s and 30s. Yeah.
Never. Yeah. So it is definitely changing. And I also have it in my mind I'm prepared for that to change even more.
Yeah.
Where it's going to slow down more and then my capacity will lessen, which is I hate that that's the reality. But
the point is, we all need help.
Yeah.
We all recognize we need help. And so we should be okay with asking for help, even when that's difficult for our pride and everything else. We should also be okay with helping.
Absolutely.
And so we're kind of on opposite ends, right? Where you need to be okay with asking for help and not feel guilty about it. And I need to be okay with jumping in as soon as I'm asked to help.
I am seeing something.
Yeah.
I am seeing something that I'm not sure if this is something, but this could be something.
Okay.
Do you think that one of the reasons I feel like I have to list what I've done and to get someone to help me is because for years you procrastinated to help me? Like the two negatives, there's two negatives here and they kind of correlate. So I mean, I'm kind of blaming my bad habit on you, but I mean, I think I'm right.
So first of all, we're all responsible for our own actions.
Oh my goodness, it's your fault. I'm off the hook. I'm good.
You were probably doing this before we got married. So
I am sure I was. But come on, you have to say you can't not see that.
I don't think there's a correlation. I think that there is something that I see.
What do you see?
You're at a point in your life where you need more help than ever.
Okay.
And I am being more helpful than ever.
Those two things are both true.
I think that I am such a great person that it's not the negative. Like, I'm not to blame for the negative. I'm to blame for the positive that is happening.
Wow. I didn't even follow that. That was so twisted that I didn't follow it.
They follow it.
I just think it's fascinating that your negative is being slow to help and my negative is like listing out reasons why someone should help. There's got to be something there.
I don't think there's anything there.
Okay. Put it in the comments that I'm right. All right. My second one. Do you remember her saying this? Because I put this in my notes during the counseling thing.
I remember it, yes.
And this is what's really funny. I don't remember her saying this because I started getting really focused on the fact that I list what I've done. So I stopped listening a little bit, not on purpose, but I got distracted because I was like, oh, she's right. I do that. What do you remember her saying about this next one?
So the next one, the second negative she had to say about Lysandra was that Lysandra depended on me for her happiness.
Right.
And so that you put a lot of weight on me to make you happy.
Yes.
Which she did notice this and noticed it's something she needs to make sure that she's working on with her relationship with Corey. Because she also has a tendency to do this and feel this way. You know, as far as Catherine's temperament and personality, she's very similar to you in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of those things where even in their kind of dating relationship, she has noticed and has paid attention to, and she talked about the fact that she needs to make sure that she keeps this in her mind as they get married as well.
Yes. Now that you say that, I remember all of that. Yes. So this one was definitely one where I was like spot on. Absolutely. But what's so funny is she's 20 years old. We've been married 23 years.
Yeah.
She does not remember where it used to be. Like, if she could if she could remember from birth to like year 4,
yeah,
it was so much worse.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my
goodness. Like, she noticed it as a negative in the best years it's been.
Exactly. So I'm trying to say, like, oh my goodness, it was so bad before. But that's one thing that we talk about in our book, Happily Never After, is like, you can't look to your spouse to make you happy. And I have absolutely done this, especially when we were younger. Yeah. And even now I have to like consciously work at it to have all of my joy come from the Lord and my identity come from God and not Thomas. But it was bad in the beginning years.
Well, and I do think that we should like work to make our spouse happy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But to put all of the weight and the pressure to put on your spouse for your happiness is a weight that they just cannot handle and they can't bear. And we've talked about this on the podcast as well as it is in the book and unrealistic expectations. Like, but Lysandra had all her eggs in this one basket as far as happiness.
And the basket fell on the ground and all my eggs broke open.
Yeah, all that pressure. So obviously, as a human who's not intended to carry all of that, I do make mistakes. I do fail. Yeah. And so there were a lot of times where Lysandra was sad, upset, crying because, I had let her down in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was I just had ridiculous expectations of you at the beginning. I think my expectations of you now are much more reasonable.
Yeah.
But still, sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, okay, he doesn't need to do that or be that or say that. Let him go. Let it go. And I still struggle with this. So,
well, I think we all do to an extent, right? We often have very high expectations of our spouse, of what they should be or what they should do for us. So like I'm guilty of this also from time to time.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that she kind of noticed that.
Yeah, it is. And she was spot on, and it was hard to hear in a way. Like for me, because I know Thomas said he had no feelings. I definitely had guilt. I had shame. I had regret. I had I don't know. My feelings were not hurt at all. Like she did not hurt my feelings. It was just like, she's right and I need to work on this.
So did you feel like guilt as a wife or a mom, a person? Like what?
Yes.
What specifically?
Yes, all of those.
Okay.
And then I also started to I tried to stay present in the moment, but my mind did start to wander. Like, do I do this with ladies at church? Do I do this in my other relationships? I mean, what if everybody is like, geez, she always compares how much she works to me, how much I work. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done? So I'm just very aware of it now.
I mean, I don't know that you do this, but I have noticed that ladies tend to do this more than guys.
Okay. It's a girl thing.
Where they basically are trying to one-up each other on certain things. Like, however painful your pregnancy was,
Yes.
you don't understand. Mine was
goodness.
much more painful because of this, that, or the other. Or, I know you're busy, but, I'm
but you don't know what busy is. Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
I have noticed that, from my perspective, ladies seem to do that a little more than
you are
than
spot
guys
on.
do.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
the first time I really, really spotted it, I was 20 years old, just gave birth, and somebody, a friend of mine, invited me out to dinner because I had just had birth. She's like, you need a break.
Which, let me say this: no epidural, no pain meds. Like, this woman was a beast, like a soldier when it came to giving birth. It was incredible to watch. I would have been like, give me all the drugs you have.
Yes, you would have. But I wanted to feel it. Like, I wanted to experience birth, and I didn't want to numb myself to it. Like,
I never want to feel it. I never want to feel anything.
Yeah. I don't have any regrets about that either. But so all of that. And then, so I go out to dinner with this friend, and she was asking me like how it went, like, tell me about the labor. And I was like, labor lasted 12 hours. And she's like, oh, mine lasted 14,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then she was like, did you take pain meds? And I was like, no, I decided not to go for any of the pain medicine. And she's like, she did have pain medicine, but she was like, oh, but I had to have pain medicine because it hurts much worse. Like, she was trying to tell me that like her labor hurt worse than my labor, which is why she had pain medicine. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Which is, if you just think about it, that's such a crazy thing to say, because I have no idea how bad things hurt you. Like, I know how bad things hurt me in certain situations, but I have no idea how bad it actually is for you or for anybody else.
We have no idea about pain tolerance. None of us.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
I tend to think you have a very high pain tolerance.
I don't know if I do or not.
You dealt with me for a long time, so it must be pretty high.
True enough. But anyway, by like maybe 20 minutes in this conversation about giving birth, I said to myself in my mind, she wants to win. Let her win.
Yeah.
And so from then on, I literally was just like, wow, yours sounded worse. Whoa, that sounds terrible. Like, and I just stopped trying to like even talk about what had just happened with me because it was pointless.
Well, and it's one of those things where why can't we just feel empathy for the person? Yeah. Why do we always, and we all do this from time to time, why do we have to make it about us?
I know. It's like,
and there's a difference between like identifying with somebody like, I've had a similar experience versus, mine is so much worse and now I'm making it about me.
Yeah, exactly. But It's that's the thing though. We all have the behavioral patterns. We all have the things. And I guarantee she had no idea she was doing it. And if I pointed it out to her, she probably would have apologized and felt really bad, which is why I didn't point it out to her.
So we're going to say her name right now.
No, we are not. And if you do you even know her name?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Then we're good.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I'll tell you after the podcast, and you will be like, oh, yeah.
So I'll tell you next week.
No, he will not.
Open to feedback is not what this episode is about. So
it's not about us just bad-mouthing people.
We're going to give some feedback.
No way.
Tune in next time to get the name.
Well, anyway, so...
That's how you pull the viewers back in.
Yeah, we're not doing that. That is not what this show is.
We may do that. Just come back and find out.
You are the worst. It is difficult, though, to hear negative things about yourself, and it's difficult to share negative things about other people, but it does contribute to a healthy marriage.
Well, and one of the greatest indicators of emotional and spiritual maturity is being able to hear the hard truths about ourselves.
Right.
Like, none of us see ourselves perfectly. Like, I cannot perfectly evaluate myself totally.
No, you're extremely biased, and I am toward myself.
And I know me very well, and I know a lot of the negative things about me, but I don't have an absolutely clear picture of myself. It is skewed by my own pride, my own selfishness. We often want to put ourselves and paint ourselves in the best light. I mean, even physically, we don't see ourselves clearly. They say, I don't know how you would judge this.
Yeah, I've heard it too, and I don't know.
Where physically you see yourself, and I can't remember if it's 10% better than or more beautiful than you actually are. I don't know what the percentage is, but I've heard this. I've not fact checked it, and I'm not going to take the time to chat GPT it right now. But even physically, like, we look at ourselves and see ourselves often better. Some people, they do the opposite. And they've got body dysmorphia and all that, and they see themselves worse.
That statement freaked me out when you said that you see yourself 10% better than you are, because I see myself pretty negatively.
Yes.
Physically. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 10% worse than that?
He's like, I'm 10% uglier than I think I am?
I'm like, no. Anyway, continue on.
Some people do have real issues, and they see themselves worse than they actually are. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, we see ourselves better. We think of ourselves better than we actually are. Mm-hmm. And so that's, I think, one of the great things about marriage is God gave us our spouse to be used in such a way that helps to reveal our blind spots.
Yes. Sanctification, right?
Right. And so, nothing will show you how selfish you are more than getting married.
Oh my goodness, that is a true statement.
Because it starts to reveal like what you like to do for your habits and this and that, and the things that grate on you and make you impatient and all that stuff. I was telling the kids this when we were having our premarital coaching with them, is like all those cute little things right now before you get married, habits and whatnot, like they're cute now. When you get married, they stop being cute, a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just annoying. But that little cute way that she eats this or that, and it's like, after 1,000 days in a row of hearing her eat like that, it's just like, geez, could you just make a little less noise?
Are you being passive aggressive right now?
I'm not. I'm just giving a random example.
Yeah, this feels a little passive aggressive.
But right, and so it reveals like what those blind spots are to us, and when they're addressed, it can really transform you as a husband and a wife, which will impact your marriage relationship in a positive way.
And one thing to consider too is defensiveness is a very natural response to having a flaw pointed out.
Oh, totally.
When you hear something negative about yourself, like before you even have a moment to blink, you are in your mind defending yourself on that point.
Yep.
And I would say if you and me went back and watched this episode, we would see both of ourselves defend ourselves on the negatives that we just talked about. We both did. And for me, like it's my instant reaction to defend myself, but it's not always defense. It's not always defense. What I'm really trying to do is help to explain myself.
Justify.
Thank you. That's the word.
Which is, I mean, that's in itself a defensive tactic.
Okay, fair enough. But it's like, I'm not trying to say I'm not wrong, but I do want you to know where I'm coming from and the why behind the reason I'm doing the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. Even if it is the wrong thing.
Right. Yes, exactly. Because like my intentions are good, or like
So can you do the wrong thing for the right reason?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
No, I do not believe that you can.
Okay.
Do you believe you can do the wrong thing for the right reason?
I don't, but it sounded like that's what you were doing.
Okay, gotcha. No. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm explaining.
Okay.
I am defending myself.
Exactly. Okay, here we are. We got there. I just wanted to let you get there yourself. Sometimes that's the best way to get people to learn something, is just like, let's ask some questions and let them get there. So, but it is, defensiveness is a natural response, even if you don't realize you're doing it.
In the notes that I personally typed,
Yeah.
it says, maybe not defend myself, but explain, which might as well be defensiveness. It gets me nowhere.
So if you
wrote that
if you would have
about
just
myself,
kept reading, you would have.
I was getting there, but you just had to like
I helped you get there
faster, I guess. But
I don't. Hey, it's the same thing with the podcast. Like, until it's time, like, I'm not there. So I'm not reading ahead. I have no idea.
No, which makes it so fun to work with you.
I don't want to think about it until I have to think about it, and then it's just like
it's what? A mess? Chaos?
No, what I think of it is like, it's like one of those envelopes that you send to somebody that you open it and then all this confetti bursts out. And it's like,
I hate those.
But it's like this party that just happened,
No,
right?
it's a mess.
No, it's beautiful.
It is a mess.
It's a beautiful experience.
If you are one of those people who loves to get a confetti envelope, you're insane.
Yeah.
You have potential psychopathic tendencies.
So,
Thomas.
Our anniversary is coming up.
It is.
Actually, by the time you watch this, it will have passed. Yeah. So we'll think about Lysandra's birthday. And if you would like our address, I will send you our address, and you can send her confetti envelopes. But you can't just put it in the envelope. You've got to get one of the ones where when they open it, it goes boom.
Okay. This is crazy that you just like randomly brought up the confetti thing.
Yeah.
When we move furniture every week for this podcast, I was just telling Thomas, and you heard me say this.
Yes.
One of my favorite things about moving furniture every week for the podcast is I get to sweep under my furniture. Yeah. And I said, some people don't get the opportunity to sweep under their furniture for years, and I get to do it every week. And I love that. But when the rug moved, right over there in our living room, just tucked underneath the quarter round at the bottom of the baseboard, there was caught a little confetti piece from my birthday balloons from January. And I was so annoyed because I could not get it out from the quarter round. Yeah. And so I'm like sweeping. Finally, I had to like pick it up with my fingernails. But I was thinking to myself, why do people like confetti balloons? And then you brought this up, and now you're saying to send me confetti cards?
Her birthday is the end of July, or end of January.
Whoa.
Right now, it is the end of July. That has been there for 6 months.
It has been.
That is how well this house is cleaned.
Hey.
What?
It's rose gold, which is a similar color to our flooring, and I just didn't see it till today. I'm defending myself.
So, but this is truly one of the greatest gifts, is the opportunity to learn and grow, and have your spouse also paying attention to the negative behaviors that you want to change. So Lysandra mentioned how once it was brought to light, especially about listing out the things that she's done in order to justify asking somebody else for help. You've done this for me, and I've asked her to do this. So it's not like this is different than somebody who just constantly points out things.
Right. We're not talking about being a critic, criticizing constantly.
That's totally something different. I have asked her to do this, and because I do want to change. I want to learn and grow. I want to take away the negative behaviors and patterns and try to erase them and get better moving forward. And so you have pointed out to me multiple times where I've been harsh with the girls or snapped at them. And, I've done this with you at certain times where it's like, hey, she's not typically harsh with the girls, Very rarely.
But it happens.
You're more apt to be harsh with me.
Absolutely.
And so there's been multiple times where I've had to say like, hey, you're really coming at me right now.
Yeah,
Can we just,
that's the word you use.
I don't really like how you're coming at me.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like,
take a deep breath and try again.
Exactly.
But we have to, because we have blind spots. And even if you work on the one blind spot, like we talked about at the beginning, other things pop up. Yeah. You know, it could be attitudes, right? And you think about how many attitudes there are and how many bad attitudes there are. Habits, the amount of bad habits we can have. It could be physical. It could be emotional habits. It could be communication habits. On and on the list goes. Behaviors or whatever. These things are obvious to other people, but completely hidden from our own perspective.
Yeah.
And your spouse experiences you more consistently than anyone else. And so because of that, they're uniquely positioned to actually help you, you know, and point these things out. Other people cannot see it clearly.
Right.
But because your spouse is so close to you, they oftentimes see more of you and can see more of this, and they can help with it.
Well, and you know, you make a great point here, because we often see ourselves one way and it comes across totally different.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you think you're being helpful, whereas they experience you as being controlling.
Right. Or you think, I'm just a direct person. I'm being direct. But your spouse, the way that they experience you is you're harsh.
Yeah.
And I think that you and me have had that one.
Yeah.
You think you're being direct, and I think you're being harsh.
Right.
Or the word that I use is mean.
Yes.
I'm like, why are you mean? Don't be mean.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you believe you're so easygoing, but what is experienced on the other end is they experience you as emotionally disengaged. But you're like, no, I'm just easygoing.
Yeah.
And I think about that with like the whole list thing that I do. Is I thought that I was justifying my request for help, but what they were experiencing is comparison and keeping score.
Yes.
So what we think is happening in our head is not necessarily what the other person is experiencing. So it's just fascinating when you actually start talking about this stuff.
Well, and this is where it comes to like not defending or justifying ourselves, because if I think I'm being direct and Lysandra takes it as me being mean, then, you know, her perception is reality. And so I need to learn how to communicate better and in a way that doesn't come across as being such a jerk or being mean.
So let's clarify this for couples, because these are probably conversations that couples have actually had. When you say, I'm being direct, and I say, no, you're being mean, are you mean or are you direct?
Maybe both.
Okay. But there's no...
But I would say that the communication is lacking.
Okay.
So, and I've given this example on the podcast before. It's been a while. I had a situation when we lived back in Iowa. The girls were very small. And I was taking our girls to drop them off to go play with their cousins. And so my brother was at work, and his wife Susan came out to the car, and she said, hey, are you upset with me? Are you mad at me? Did I do something? And I'm like, no, not at all. And so she went on to state that, you know, because of the way that I communicated or relayed information, like she truly believed like she had done something to offend me. Mm-hmm. And so I apologized, you know, that I didn't communicate correctly. I didn't communicate well or in the best light. I assured her there's no issue, there's no problem. And there truly wasn't. It simply one of those things where I want to be as direct as possible. And a lot of times that just comes across as being mean. Mm-hmm. And so I have to learn, and I've tried to work on this, and it's easy to fall back into old habits and patterns, right? And so it's like, if I'm not communicating well, the problem isn't with the listener, it's with me, the communicator. Mm. It's my responsibility to communicate well.
Yeah, right.
Whether it's my feelings, my thoughts, my expectations, or whatever else. So if Lysandra is not receiving the message well, or anybody else is not receiving the message well, then I'm the one who has to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Where is the breakdown? How can I communicate it in such a way that it gets across what I'm trying to say in a way that can be received well and is not being misinterpreted?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Great illustration. And typically when we disagree on these things, neither perspective actually tells the whole story.
Right.
There's partial reality in both. But growth happens when we become curious about how our behavior impacts the people we love. That's the thing, is like when we start thinking, how is this perceived?
Yeah.
How are they responding? And that's the curiosity is what actually makes a difference. And we need our family's honesty to see ourselves correctly.
Yeah.
We need each other's honesty to grow personally. And I love Proverbs 27:17 because it's so beautiful when you think about it in terms of marriage. It's a lot of times used in friendships, but think about it in terms of marriage or even parent-child relationships.
Yeah.
Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron and one man sharpens another. And we sharpen each other.
Yes.
Because we were pretty dull at the beginning.
I mean, I was pretty exciting. You were kind of dull, but
we needed each other. And like that whole idea of like marriage sanctifying you and making you more like Jesus is such a reality because we had so many bad habits and so many things we did wrong. But as we grew together and pointed things out to each other and worked through things together, we have sharpened each other. I've seen this in our marriage. Don't you agree?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes. Things have been brought to my light that I've been able to work on that I would have never worked on.
Right.
If
Same.
it wasn't for this relationship and how close we are involved with each other. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing, is like throughout Scripture, we see this idea of opening ourselves up to criticism, to correction from God and from other people in our lives. I mean, think of these verses that David wrote in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. And this is a prayer that we ought to pray all the time.
Absolutely.
Search me, O God, and know my heart.
Amen.
Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
I love that passage.
Once again, he's saying, God, search me. Because as we talked about in the podcast before, when we talked about, hey, should we teach our kids to follow their heart or not? Like we saw in Scripture that our heart is deceitful above all things. It's desperately wicked. And so we often deceive ourselves. But when I open my life and my heart up to God and to my wife and to people in my life who are, true friends, who are following God, who are going the right way, and I say, point out the rough edges to me. Yeah. Point out the faults, the failures, the sins, the habits, the patterns. I want to see them. I want to change. I want to do something about it. I want to grow. It's such a positive thing in our life, and it's impossible to live under the deception anymore after that's been brought to light.
That's true. And you will only grow, and your marriage will only grow if you are open to having things pointed out.
Well, you can't change something you're unaware of.
Exactly. Yes. You have to have somebody point it out. And the healthiest couples aren't the ones who never hear hard truths. They're the ones who humble themselves and are open to hear and even ask, even say, like, point it out to me, show me, tell me, I want to know. These are the couples who are healthy. These are the couples who are growing, and they are courageous enough to change.
But this is the thing. If you want a stronger marriage, don't just ask your spouse to change. Be the kind of person who welcomes honest feedback and sees it as an opportunity to become more like Christ. Like, if you are a follower of Jesus, like we are, like, the thing that God is trying to do in our lives is to conform us to the image of His Son.
That's right.
That means changing.
It does.
It means changing. So that ought to be our goal.
Yeah. And if you want a little more information on this, maybe this is a tough area of your life, send us an email to info@familymeeting.org, and we will send you a bonus resource called Receiving Feedback Without Becoming Defensive Self-Assessment. So you'll be able to self-assess yourself Self-assess yourself.
Assess yourself.
Self-assess yourself. Assessing yourself.
Who wrote this?
Actually, it's written properly. I read it wrong, but anyway. So yeah, I think this could actually be really good to see, like, how comfortable am I with receiving feedback? Maybe I do, put up the walls, shut down, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good bonus resource for people.
And so here's your family meeting tonight. You're going to sit down with your spouse and you're going to open up your life to them. And you're going to say, hey, what are the negative things about me as a person and in our relationship? And what are the things that I need to work on most? And maybe just say, give me the top 2 or the top 3, and not make this a big, long air out every single little grievance. Because some things, it's like we don't need to point that out. Some things are just like, I can let that slide. But we're talking about like the big things that you need to work on as a person. And then, of course, you're going to have an opportunity. So it's a little selfish also. You're going to have an opportunity to share with them
how manipulative
the things that they need to work on. Hey, that's the beauty of it. It's give and take. I'm giving a little. I'm opening my life to change. But that also means that you're opening up your life to change as well.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us today. Please go and subscribe to the Family Meeting Podcast from your favorite podcast provider. And if you found this episode helpful, share this on your socials.
For everything else Family Meeting, you can go to our website, familymeeting.org.
And we want to invite you to join us for our next family meeting as we discuss how to actively teach our kids about the messages they're receiving through social media and other media in our culture. Thomas has been doing a fabulous series at church, a sermon series it's called Summer Playlist, and it's talking about the songs that we hear, whether we're putting them on ourselves or if it's like walking through the store and we hear them or whatever. But we are getting messages through songs, movies, TV, social media, whatever. And that's getting into our kids too. So have we taught our kids how to evaluate the messages that they are receiving? Are they prepared to do that and think logically themselves? And it starts with us thinking logically. It starts with us evaluating. So we're going to talk about that next week.
Finish up that series actually tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Beachside Community Church. If you want to see those videos, you can find them on my personal YouTube page, which I've shared on all my socials and all that. Should be easy for you to find. Thanks for joining us today for this family meeting. Have a great week, everybody. This meeting is adjourned.